In this video, I'm going to go over how to hit the serve in pickleball. I'm going to start with the basics and then move on to how to get more power when you serve. The serve in pickleball does differ from other racket sports like tennis and racquetball. Here are some of the differences. First, you have to hit the serve with an underhand motion. You must hit the ball in the air, and you must make contact below the waist. The head of the paddle also needs to be below the wrist at the point when you make contact. I'm going to go ahead and I have some clips of different videos of people serving. In most cases, we'll see the correct motion and mechanics, and then I'll also show you somebody who's not hitting the serve properly. Here you do see somebody hitting with that underhand motion. They're hitting the ball below the waist, and they're contacting the ball before it bounces when they're serving, which you'll see right here. So overall, this person has pretty good form in terms of doing the basics correctly. In the next video clip, you'll see that the gentleman is hitting the ball in the air, but many other things he's not doing correctly. He's hitting more sidearm than underhand. He's contacting the ball, it looks like, above his waist. And you'll notice when he makes contact with the ball, the paddle head is above his wrist. Here you'll see somebody with a pretty classic pickleball serve. It's similar to a bowling motion where the paddle head is very close to her body when she is in her motion. You can also see the paddle head is facing down, and she does finish high. So that's very similar to when bowling. Here you'll see a set of pro players who have more of a power motion when they're serving in pickleball. You'll notice here that he's bouncing the ball quite a few times before he serves. That's part of his routine, but also notice he's bouncing the ball out in front of him. When he hits the ball in order to generate power, he contacts the ball in front of his front foot. So we'll see that one more time in a second here, but you'll also notice on the right-hand side, he cocks his wrist back. This gives him more power too. On the left side, you'll see that's really just the start of his service motion where he has not cocked his wrist back. And again, he is bouncing the ball out in front of himself. That's about the spot where he's going to toss the ball. And notice too, when he finally tosses the ball, he doesn't toss it particularly high. So it's just a nice, easy toss. So you can try and get the ball in the same spot every time. All right, here we have another server. He's got a little bit different routine, you'll notice, before he starts his service motion. And watch, he'll really use his legs. And that's a way that you generate more power as opposed to just serving with your arm. You can also generate more power by really rotating your hips as you start your service motion. So you'll notice that he's almost perpendicular to the baseline, and then as he starts his motion, he rotates his hips through, and that's another way to generate power. On our final server here, he has a little bit more of an inside-out motion, but notice how, again, he uses his legs, he rotates his hips, and he finishes high when he finishes up the service motion. All of these things happen in order to generate power. So in review, to generate power, you can go ahead and use your legs, rotate your hips, cock your wrist back at the point of contact, and finish high.